And welcome back, everybody, to Ship-Faced, continuing and ending the ghost ship portion of the channel. First of all, I want to thank everybody for watching all these videos I've been making. Y'all are great. And this week we'll be talking about SS Octavius. So in 1761, this vessel set sail on what was to be just another voyage, and turned out to be something extraordinary. According to legends, Octavius, shortly after leaving England, was met by an enormous storm. This, combined with human error, resulted in the ship being blown far off course, much farther than anyone could anticipate. By the time the crew could recalibrate their compasses and recalculate their position, they discovered they were in the Arctic Circle, surrounded by ice, unable to move. Still, according to legend, it is said that the ship had been tossed around so violently by the storm that it actually washed up on top of field ice, flat icebergs. It wasn't until 1775 when another vessel, a whaling ship named the Herald, which accidentally happened upon the Octavius's position. Her crew boarded the Octavius, intrigued by the derelict state of the frozen ship, and discovered that the crew had been frozen solid, stuck in their last position, some sweeping the decks, the captain entering a log from 1765. What makes this whole thing even creepier is that while the Octavius's original crew has died and frozen to death, the crew from the Herald also died, because the Octavius had been frozen for 10 years and exhausted all supplies. There was no food, there was no water, she was unable to move, and another storm hit and sank the Herald. So the crew of the Herald, stuck on the Octavius, also died. Our second and final ghost ship story revolves around the HMS Baychimo. Launched in 1914, Baychimo was originally named Anger Manolfin for a German company based out of Hamburg. After World War I, she was ceded to Great Britain as war reparations and renamed Baychimo. Newly homeported in Scotland, Baychimo regularly made crossings along the North Atlantic between Scotland and Canada, trading pelts. While her voyage to Alaska was successful, her voyage returning to Canada from Alaska was not. Baychimo was exposed to strong winds and temperatures 10 degrees below freezing, which trapped her in ice at sea. In a similar situation to Titanic, only instead of colliding with an iceberg, she had wedged herself inside one. Try as they may to dig their way out, the Baychimo would not budge. The parent company, Hudson's Bay, made the decision to send a fleet of planes to rescue the stricken crew. 15 crew members decided to stay behind with the Baychimo, hoping that the weather would recede, but it never did. Instead, the 15 crew that chose to stay behind with the Baychimo built a wooden fort to protect themselves from the elements. And not only did the weather get worse, but a blizzard of strong proportions struck the area, and by the time that storm ceased, the Baychimo was gone. That all took place in 1931, and what's really miraculous or eerie, depending on your perspective, is that this picture was taken in the 60s, and for 38 years the Baychimo had been adrift, floating free with no crew, no fuel, earning her timeless nickname, the Ghost Ship of the Arctic. Well, that's a wrap, everybody. Happy Halloween, stay safe, have fun, and I hope you enjoyed the spooky stories for this month. Starting next week, we're resuming regular operations with ocean liner stories. Take care, see you then.